Hey there, it's Susie Haley from Functional Synergy, and this is 7 ways to improve your plank without pulling your navel to your spine or pulling up on that pelvic floor, but rather to improve the functional movement, to improve your mobility and your stability so that your plank becomes so much more effortless and you can hold it easier for longer. Now, before we get into the actual exercises, let's explore your plank to begin with so that you have a baseline. So come up into your version of plank. And let's move into number 1. Number 1 is getting it into your hands, because the hands form the base of your plank. So we're going to take the hands in a couple of blocks, and we're going to do a few different hand positions. The first one is your index finger is going to touch your thumbs, and you're going to bring your fingers onto the block so that the block comes up to the point where the fingers attach to the palm of your hand. All right, so we're going to be here, and then really easily we're just going to move through that joint area. Watch that you don't raise the shoulders as well. Now for some people, this is quite a surprise in terms of what it feels like, yeah? And then let that go. Okay, now we're going to go middle finger to thumb. And let's do the same thing. And again, watch if those shoulders want to creep up. And now ring finger to thumb. And when you're putting that ring finger, like the tip of the finger to the thumb, really try to make it the tip, touching the tip. Great. And now pinky finger to thumb. These are also really great for those of you who spend a lot of time at the computer. Great, and then let that go. Okay, so now let's play with your plank. Come onto your plank. All right, now notice if there's anything new in your plank having worked with your hands. This takes us to number 2. For number 2, we're going to use a ball on the outside of our shoulder blade and around the armpit. So right in through here. Now what I'd like you to do is take your other hand and just with your fingers gently move into that area, and you're going to find a few little tender points. And that's where we're going to go with the ball. So you're going to take the ball, come on to your back, and then bring it to the outside of that blade, just in that meaty area. And you'll probably find a few little points, and just find for you where they are. And you can just move the arm around a little bit. So your torso is staying mostly still. You're just kind of moving your arm, and you can bring the arm up, and then from here, put a little bit of pressure down through the elbow, just a little bit, not a lot. Move through that arm. Good. And then other side, taking the ball under, finding those points of yumminess. Sometimes I call them sweet. Other times they're a little tender, but just be gentle. Have some compassion there. Yeah. It's always so fun to find some of these areas lurking under our awareness. And if the ball sort of slips away, that's all right. Just bring it back. Okay, good. Perfect. All right, so now let that go and come back to your plank. And let's see where you land in this version of plank, and if the release up and through that shoulder girdle helped you find a little bit more effortlessness in your plank. Let's move your arms over your head. So we're going to take a strap, and if you don't have a strap, you can always just place your thumb tips together. So you can be on your back, thumb tips together like so, or you can hold a strap. And then raise your shoulders and drop them down. So the elbows are staying the same, your neck is staying quiet. So is your pelvis and your jaw. You're just moving through your shoulders and your blades. Okay, good. Now start to bring your arms over your head. Now this movement is the arm bone in the shoulder socket. So again, the elbows aren't changing from their start position. And your ribs are staying quiet. Sometimes the tendency is to hold the upper abdomen and hold the ribs in. Just move only as far as the rib stays quiet. Try to use less effort to do the movement. The furthest you'll go is in line with your ears. Just move in a click-free, clump-free, pain-free range of motion. Great. All right, let's move into your plank and see if anything is new. And what do you notice? Let's move into number 4. For number 4, we're going to come onto our hands and our knees. Now this one can sometimes be deceptively difficult. From hands and knees, we're going to take the toes underneath and then lift the knees just an inch. Just check, make sure it's an inch, not 2 or 3 or 5. And then you'll be moving through your hips and your shoulders, forward and back, keeping the knees right at the same level. So you're probably going to feel this in your quads, maybe in your abdomen. Good, and then drop the knees and come into your plank. Notice if there's any difference. For number 5, we're going to go into a side bend. And the side bend is going to come from a sitting position. So grab a bolster or a block and feel your 2 sitting bones on the block. And then lean over to one side, but as you lean away from the sitting bone, see if you can still maintain pressure, not hardness, but pressure in through the sitting bone. And then gently tap your finger, like butterfly pressure on the ground here. So you're not leaning into that arm, no collapsing. Good, and then you can slide the hand up to your shoulder. And if it's available, bring it right alongside your ear. The idea here is you want to keep your breath easy. Your shoulders aren't coming up to your ears. And this is a release through the lateral side of your body, which can be surprisingly amazing for planking. Not for everybody, but for the ones who love it, they really, really love it. Because a lot of times this lateral line can get very limited in our day-to-day living. Over we go. So this sitting bone is gentle on the ground. So even though the weights come over, you can still feel it. The hand I'm leaning on is butterfly, very, very, very light pressure. And then you decide where to place that hand. Whether it's on the ribs, shoulder, head, maybe it just stays right beside you. Really, really easy breath. Great job. All right, come on up. All right, come back into your plank. Let's see if you're one of the ones who love this one. So come up into your plank. All right, so now this next one, we're coming back to the balls and coming back to the strap. So you'll need 2 tennis balls and a strap. Now some of you are going to love this. Others of you are going to move on to the next one, which we're going to take this on either side of your spine. That's what it's going to look like, either side of your spine. Start up and around opposite your breastbone, right there. Now, if you find Then as you come down, you have to like really bring your head back like this. Don't do that. Instead, put a block under your head like this. Now this could be uncomfortable. I'm just going to warn you. So if it's too much, then just take the balls away. But if you can easily make it over there, then do that. But really, it's got to be easy. We don't want you to strain, because straining just adds tension into your system and does not help you at all with your plank. So you choose whether it's head, block under the head or not. Okay, so arms come up now. Again, we're holding onto that strap. Arms are going to come over your head and then back up. I'm just going to do 2 of these. Okay, let's roll up a little bit. So the balls have rolled up towards the neck as I've moved down my mat. Over you go. Okay, and again. Now, probably along the way as you continue to roll, you're going to find certain areas that are just a wee bit more tension than the others. So just double check with your breathing, if it makes sense. The furthest you go is the very base of your neck. Awesome. Okay, now from there, take the balls away and then lie on your back for a moment. Now let's turn over. And come into your plank. And notice what this feels like. For number 7, we're going to take the blocks and place them shoulder width apart so that your forearms can be right aligned with them. Actually, I'm going to take it a bit wider. Your hands are shoulder width apart. And the blocks are going to just keep you aware of where those forearms are in space. And you're going to slowly lower down and then come back up. Lower down and then back up. So we're not kicking our arms backward and our shoulders aren't coming up to our ears. So only go as far as you can comfortably do this. Okay, good. And from there, come into your plank. And there you go. 7 ways to improve your plank without pulling your navel to your spine or bringing that pelvic floor even higher up into your pelvis. If you've enjoyed these and you want more insights and ideas for how to improve the movements that you're doing in your fitness or in your yoga or Pilates, then hit that subscribe and that notification button so you are aware of when those weekly videos drop. And if you think someone will benefit from this, please pass it along. Mwah! We'll see you next time.